This crypto bull run has been so interesting. We've saw Bitcoin, really driven by those ETFs. The ETF launched, all that institutional money came in, and it pushed Bitcoin to new all-time highs. It's performed as expected, but for the broader altcoin space, it has been a shutout to date. Now, with XRP, you had that court case go away, all that risk subsided, and XRP had a nice pop from 50 cents up to over $3. But that's really more of a recovery. That's not really growth. We haven't seen growth in the broader altcoin space. Yeah. And what's interesting, prior bull runs, really what brought retail to the table, we had these very specific themes. Let me pull this up. This is from junglelinkxrp.com, wrote an article about this yesterday. Really in 2017, and if you were around, you remember how crazy this was. It was the ICO boom. Someone would come out with a really cool idea, release a white paper. The coin didn't do anything. There was no technology or systems built out. It was literally just a piece of paper and a dummy token. But that drove retail to crypto like crazy. That drove most of that growth in 2017 until ICOs were outlawed and it all fell apart. Then we had 2021. There's really two things that drove that bull run for retail to bring them to the table, and it was DeFi Summer, everyone getting into DeFi, and NFTs. So NFTs were a big driver of growth in 2021 along with DeFi. This time around, when you look at things, payments are getting really hot. Institutions looking to use blockchain for payments, stable coins, RWAs. So you're taking some sort of stock, some bonds, some security of some sort, and you look to take it on chain. BlackRock with their BIDL platform is over a few $1 billion in that fund, and there's a few of them. So a lot of this stuff that's big right now, it's institutions adopting this technology and starting to build out systems of the future. But these institutions, they're slow, they're methodical, they invest over time. They're not dummies, right? They're going to pay attention to what they're doing, but not really retail, not like we've seen in the past. When is retail going to come to the table and start YOLOing all their money into this market and give us a little bit of a lift here? What are the things that will bring them to invest in crypto? Now, it's possible that with retail, they get excited about institutional use cases. We've seen that with XRP, right? Where it's payments, it's institutional use cases, and you have a lot of retail investors that are very bullish about XRP. But the things I think that might really drive, retail to invest here is games. To me, games is the perfect sector, gaming, because this is a community that understands the value of digital goods. They already pay for in-game assets. A digital asset in this digital world, they pay real money for that stuff. It's just the next logical extension. And what's cool is now we have regulatory clarity, and you can do this type of thing without the SEC kicking your door in. So it makes sense. We may see a big gaming studio jump in here and take that extension and build out into blockchain, and I think it would be huge. So gaming makes a lot of sense. Also AI, just because there's going to be some interesting use cases with crypto, and AI is all the rage, and 2026 should be huge for artificial intelligence. I could see AI catching fire again, because there have been times when the AI sector of crypto really catches fire and has been compelling, but it hasn't been a long burn like we typically see within a bull run. I could see AI being one of those components that sparks a big bull run in 2026. Of course, meme coins can always come back. We saw, when the president launched a meme coin, how big that was. And again, you can do this type of thing as long as you're careful without getting into trouble with regulators. Again, some sort of breakthrough, some sort of new application that people enjoy using. I think that is where retail is going to come in. And remember this, retail, they're not slow, they're not methodical, they're not thoughtful. Everyone comes at once. Every retail investor comes running in here and they just throw everything they got at it all at one time, and they're usually buying the top, right? That's kind of how that plays out. And so what's cool is this bull run we may have retail investing at the same time as you have institutions piling money in here, building out their positions, and more importantly, and probably the most important, is building out this technology stack, actually using blockchain for the tool that it was designed to be used for. Whether, again, it's BlackRock building a stock exchange in Texas, whether it's someone adopting payments, blockchain payments, stable coins. Governments even get behind stable coins. It creates a lot of demand for treasuries and U.S. debt. And it takes the US dollar and it shoots it over trustless rails into all sorts of territories. So all of these institutional use cases are going to be quite big. But we want retail as well to give us that big pop, that ridiculous euphoria, at least for those of us that want to maybe get into some higher prices to possibly cash out some of these altcoins, bring some money back. But other than that, really, institutional use cases should give us some long-term and sustainable growth. So you don't have these big boom and total busts where crypto dies for 4 years. I don't know. We're going to have that again. If we're having rapid adoption here, it should support the value of these tokens, in a more sustainable manner. Let me know down below what you think, though. 2026, will retail return? And if they do, what's going to be the use case? What's going to be the token that brings them to the table? Will people just get excited about institutional use cases, things like XRP, tokenizing things on Ethereum and Solana? Will that be the thing, or will there be a very retail specific use case like gaming that just captivates their imagination? I'm interested to hear what you think. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.